Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. I have for you a short Dakini reading for what is going on and how can we prepare now for the year of the dragon. You know that next week we have the Chinese New Year, and in a way that is when that energy really is gonna kick in. So I have cards and I will share the screen so you can really look at them, you can see them. And the first two that are connected together is the fire of sacrifice and the chameleon. So the first thing what that indicates is that we have to stop to be the chameleon. You cannot be a flag in the wind. You have to make a stand. And it's very interesting. I just a little bit before that, I actually just wrote down a quote that was inspired by something I read. And this is exactly what this describes, actually. And I will also put that into the blog so you can read it or even copy it if you like. You can see a lot of people today in a spiritual conflict. They know something isn't right, but the only skill they ever learned was being agreeable, being a people pleaser, and follow the herd. They have no experience in doing what's right, especially if it places them in uncertainty or in trouble with their uppers. You know them when you meet them, they have no fire and they have no connection with their soul. They know it, you know it. Great human lions tricked into being a lamb. This is so typical what is going on in the moment of what I can also observe in many people. They are still stuck in this paradigm of they have to do what others say. You know, one of the major issues is our school systems that really make us to be employed. They are not training anything within you to stand on your own feet. It's all about to bring home a nice paycheck and to follow other people's order. And then we have this principle that you are starting down here, you come a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, but you never ever really have responsibility. And if what is a big problem also with, we just talked about that with my brother some time ago, because nobody can make a decision anymore. You come with something, with a proposal, nobody can make a decision. It's always, oh, I have to ask this team and that team. So everything is teamwork. I think teamwork is something great, but it has to be a leader. And it has to be somebody who can make a decision. I also listen to opinions of others, and I love to discuss things like I have an idea, but maybe you have a little bit the better something, a little bit more knowledge somewhere that I don't have. And this is a healthy way of discussing things, but you have a goal. But people here, they have no goal. They maybe work just to get their pension when they are in the age to receive, to get retired, but they don't have really fire. They don't love their job. They go there because they have to. This is not a passion. I can see people who have their own business, who do something they love, who especially in the artistic field, that they have this fire. So this here, the fire of sacrifice, means that your inner fire is being sacrificed, so that you become a chameleon, that you can take on every color what is needed in the moment to do whatever is required of you. And it is also the positive side of the chameleon is also that we can change color and step in the background or not being seen for certain reason. But when I look at it here, when I ask the question, what can I do to prepare for the year of the dragon, I can really see the negative part of it. And this is what we really need to work on to come out of this chameleon energy. Because a lot of people, especially when it comes to authorities, are afraid. They're afraid to lose the job, they're afraid whatever. But remember, if you are not aligned with your soul, And if you're not aligned with the path you are going, you're going to lose your job anyway, or you're going to lose even more. Because when you are not courageous to stand on your own feet and really stand up for yourself, if you were this lion in that sheep clothes, you're going to suffocate, you're going to get sick. Now remember that every energy that we suppress is something within us that is holding back. Like when you have a dam, and when the dam is over full, then it bursts. And that's exactly when we have so much frustration within, it bursts. And then how does it come out? Very often with either on the outside aggression, which is actually good because at least you have a valve to get it out, or it manifests in form of illness. We have all these turbo cancers and things in the world right now. And of course, there is that injection that has an impact with it. But remember also that you create your own life. You have an affinity for certain things. And people who have already suppressed a lot of their power, then these things are coming out, then you attract the negative. You might know that only about, I'm not sure about that number, don't take me on that, but only about 10% of this injection have been really bad. And if somebody happened to get that really bad one, then you attract it for one or another reason. And this is a lesson. So the lesson here, and to get prepared, is like stop to play the game of others. Start to stand up for yourself and start to play your own game. And I go forward. This is the next cards that I have, the trio that leads to the solution in a way. See, we have cutting through. This is 49. 49 is 7 times 7, and 7 is the last material number. 8 is then the soul. So when you look at that, it's like cut through all the material addictions you have. We have so many addictions that this has to be like that, this has to be like that, and this we have to let go. We have to start to listen to our body. And this is Lord Ganesh, Lord of Obstacles, that shows how to do it. When you have an obstacle, or for example, also if you have an illness, and most people have, but some people are just a little bit sick, but not very much. They don't have much symptoms yet. So if we look at the symptoms and look into what they want to tell us, then we can learn what we have to let go. And the let go is, you see the death, the transfiguration. This is a transfiguration. Death is not the physical end of everything. It might be that you step out of this body, but life is not finished. And you will move on. That, in that sense, as it was taught, to most, does not exist. And if you ever heard people who had a near-death experience and had experiences with the other side where they leave the body, that life is still there. And I know psychics who talk to people who have disease, who are gone of their body. They have messages for their loved one in the back to tell them, hey, I'm still here. And this is so important now when we go through this transition, so we are not afraid. This is important. Even if you leave the body in this time to come, it does not mean your end. It means the transfiguration, the transformation into another dimension. But what you are, the consciousness of you will not be gone. But to do that, we had before the sacrifice, and again we have cutting through. You have to cut through, and these two symbols up here are connected with male and female, with polarity. So we have to cut through the way that we look at polarity. And I want to explain that here we have two words. We have duality and we have polarity. Duality is that part where we judge. Duality is standing on top of the yin-yang column of good and bad. This is duality. This is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. And then we have polarity. Polarity is like yin yang, like day and night, breathing in, breathing out. This is not about good and bad. Without polarity, we cannot exist. But if we let go of duality, of the judgment, this is the mind, you know, the two brain halves that we have, everything is within that duality consciousness. So if we look like here, the card of Lord Ganesh, if we look at all the obstacles within us, check out how much you judge, even what is happening in the world in the moment. I know it is very difficult not to judge, but it is that what is needed to wake up the masses. When you consider that 26,000 years ago, the big flood was and everything was destroyed, we moved beyond that threshold of destruction, and we are still here. That means that the consciousness level on the planet has risen so much that we do not need to go through this destruction. But that does not mean that we don't have to release all that negativity. It was flushed away before, but then what came in, actually those who control the world today, they infiltrated the world at that time, and they are actually more or less in control since 25,920 years to be exact. So now this is the death of them too, the transfiguration of that part too, that we are moving, and you see the halo here is a light halo, that the moment when all that camouflage is gone, that we can move beyond all that what is glimmer and glitter and emotional garbage. Then when we see clear from the spiritual part of who we are, then we are ready to move on, and we are moving into light. And this is why the light is around the head here, the skeleton here. That is because we see through the illusion. This is also when we look at the symbol of Capricorn, because this is the skeleton is also synonym or a symbol of Capricorn, is where we leave the physical body and we leave all the camouflage behind. So imagine again, another symbol is like the tree that in summer is full of leaf, in spring you have flowers, maybe then you have fruit, and then it all fall down. Then you see the skeleton of the tree, and a tree get ready, it pulls back all the energies inside of the tree and then goes into the earth. It looks like it would be dead, and then it is being reborn in the next spring, coming up again, and there are flowers again. And that's what is happening with us too. We can see in nature very clearly the rhythm of all that is. So the question here, or the task here, is look at the obstacles in your life. Look where you're unhappy. Look what is kind of coming back to you, what people you have trouble with, where your fears are, what are you afraid of. And if you look at that and you move beyond that, you remove all the camouflage and all the things, and you go deep, deep into your soul, into your heart, recognize your soul. Remember in the little text I read to you before, that those lions, they have no fire, they have no connection with their soul. And that's exactly the point. The moment you are in connection with your soul, you have that fire, because that is coming through your heart, through your soul, the soul fire, the heart fire. And that will help you to go through that transformation that is coming. We can say the year of the dragon will bring the end of the rule of the cabal. And again, for those who haven't heard that, cabal, what is it? The cult of Baal. And this is important to know. So we can see here also, for example, the interesting thing is that in the church and in many ways, always the word Amen is used. Amen comes from Ammon. Ammon Ra is the god of the sun. Ammon Ra, we go again into a tradition that was taking over the soul of humanity. So words are magic. And it is important to understand that, but that's another topic. Just to say better, so be it. But don't use the word amen. Now, this is what is happening in the moment, and this is what you can prepare for. Maybe you can sit down, you can make a list. And then at the dark moon, which is the Chinese New Year, which is the 9th of February, you maybe sit down and burn all this. You make for each of your fears one little piece of paper. That is my fear, and then I release. And then you go, I release, I release, I release. And maybe you have a candle, or maybe you have a bowl or something, and you roll that little paper and burn it and release it. You make a ceremony, a ritual that helps you to release what is not gone yet, even if you cannot completely see what it is. But then if you do it, be ready that this is going away from you. Be ready that things are happening. And you have seen already how fast January went. I can't believe it, but it's just going much faster even this year, and things will happen. And I think very fast. Be ready, be prepared. And well, I don't know what to say exactly, because what will happen anyway. And I just know a lot will happen this year, and I don't know where exactly and when, because nobody does. But be prepared. I can just stress, have some food, some water, maybe some gold or silver, something that is not connected with the banking system, some values. We might have a time that there is a blackout, and then it's good to be prepared. It has been on the news for years, and I have seen it, I have acknowledged it, but I never had the feeling it's close. But now I have the feeling it's close. So I hope I can give you a little bit of good information with that, and I really don't want you to be afraid, because remember, you have chosen to live now, because you have chosen to be here now in this transition. Now, whatever happened in your life, it does happen for a purpose, and you have created it. So do the best with what you have to move on through this transformation into life without the cabal system, into a life of freedom, of creativity. And what we're going towards is very exciting. And we know also that on an astral and higher level, we have one already, but it has to play out the game totally on this material level. Everything is slower. It's like when I put the seed into the soil, I have to wait till I have the fruit or the flower. And that's exactly, we have put the seed already long time, and that plant is already here, but not completed yet. Okay, so I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you in my next reading. This will be the reading then for the Chinese New Year. Bye bye for now.